As spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have the Brazilian Terran player representing himself, as he is teamless, by the way, for those who are curious. He is teamless. It is Kelazhur. Predictions open. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have as opponent, we have the German Protoss representing Berlin International Gaming. It is ShoWTimE. Oh boy, and because we're in best of 5 territory, that means that many less vetoes. I'm excited. I'm very excited. We barely get to cast on Resident Station. We got to see it earlier in the HearthStone series, HearthStone versus Maru in WTL, but that's because it's loser's pick. This is one of the first times in a long time where we're able to cover Resident Station despite the vetoes. I'm ready for it. Again, Resident Station is quite a quirky map here, and there's a lot to take in, to be honest. There's a lot to take advantage of as well. ShoWTimE going for the low ground and gate expand. We do have these pocket bases, so we can take really fast thirds. We can also take a fast fourth. The fourth base is also heavily fortified here with these kind of choke points to get into them, so you can actually defend and establish yourself on 4 bases relatively easily. Likewise, there's no Reaper Cliff coming into the natural or the main base, just the ramp, and we should be walling off. So Kelazhur going Marine first makes plenty of sense. Skipping Reapers is very much so the meta here on Resident Station, and being as greedy as possible is also on the table. Now, we got a little bit spoiled. Earlier today we casted Maru versus HearthStone, and Maru rushed into triple BC production. He got a fast third, opened up Cyclone, then straight into a Fusion Core, straight into triple BC production. It was beautiful to see, and Maru had his way with HearthStone. HearthStone went Skytoss, he went Tempest. Meanwhile, Maru had Sky Terran with Mass BC Viking, and Maru had his way with HearthStone. But it was a really good game. It was a really fun series, just because we rarely get to see Mass BC or rushing into BC in this matchup. That could be on the table here, as ShoWTimE is going for a proxy robo. Let's go. We do see Kelazhur going for a Rax expand into a 3rd CC, so Kelazhur is being very greedy, very economic, borderline illegal if we weren't on Resident Station, and ShoWTimE is looking to punish. I love this. I love that ShoWTimE is opening up with a proxy and aggression. This is something that's actually quite common on this map, because it's so common to be greedy and cut corners. A lot of players try to punish that greed. Marines are in position. They do almost get the Adept. Quite a lot of damage is dealt. Behind this, we're getting to a 3 Rax. Meanwhile, how are we going to commit to this proxy? We have a Gateway, we have the Robo. Should be working towards a War Prism, or do we start up Immortal production? There it is, the Immortal's on the way. I'm here for it. Kelazhur's in the dark, not fully aware what's going on. Not fully aware of what is happening. Adepts are moving out. And Kelazhur is still just getting into his add-ons, should be working towards reactors, tech labs, stim, combat shields. ShoWTimE is still building up, still hasn't been scouted. It takes a while to get into these Immortals. How many gateways are we on? We're still only on 2 gates. Soon to be 3. So 3 gateways, we have an Immortal, we're going to have a War Prism to reinforce here on the front lines. And Kelazhur, he's going to have vanilla Marines to defend. Stim is still just now starting. I think ShoWTimE may just end the game here and now. Again, no bunker, no stack defense, vanilla Marines. They're going to melt. Like, it's... And here comes the army. We do rock up and instantly Marines are going to be going down. 2 of them fall. We have a handful left. The boys, they have to be pulled. Good force field. Just walling off those Marines. Gonna have to try to kite our heart out here. ShoWTimE juggling that Immortal, keeping it alive. Additional Adepts have arrived. And I think we have another force field available. Oof. Let's do kite back, picking up even more SCVs. Bunker is on the way, but it looks like the Marine count is high enough. Again, quick reaction out of Kelazhur, and it looks like he has held. We do have a 2nd Immortal, a 3rd Immortal in production. Oh my god. 3rd Immortal is on the way. But alas, the Marines, they try to fight through. They try to get on top of the army. But so many of them are going down. There's 2 left. There's one. GG gets called. The bunker will not finish, and ShoWTimE takes game number 1. GG. Again, just a really good way to kind of like an anti-Radicet station build, where you know that your opponent's going to be cutting corners and being giga greedy, so you punish that greed by going all in. GG. ShoWTimE even working against his reputation a little bit there. And able to get out of control. Very nicely done, as he does take a lead, and now we're going to be getting into game number 2. Número 2. As we get ready for that second game, it looks like we have a map of choice that's going to be on site Delta. And I don't think we have really gotten anything out of these players yet. Like, game 1 on Radicet Station very much so was like a build order loss in a way. We didn't really get to sink our teeth into like their macro, their micro, the back and forth. Now it's just a build order loss. It was pretty much. Kelazhur being greedy, being punished for it. End of that first game. But now we're finding ourselves into game number 2. Let's go. And spawning in the top left-hand corner of site Delta, we have the Brazilian Terran player. Ooh. Again, currently teamless, currently down in the series, looking to fight back. It is Kelazhur. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have as opponent, we have the red Protoss player from the land of Germany, representing Berlin International Gaming. It is ShoWTimE. Here we go. Oh, and now it's going to be Kelazhur's turn. It's his turn to be aggressive, his turn to shine. Now, in saying that, there is only a single SCV. Only one SCV was sent out, so it's not going to be a proxy 2 racks or 3 racks or anything like that. Only 1 racks here across the map. I'm pretty sure this SCV is going to be heading here towards the natural to throw down a bunker, and we're just going for a single Reaper, then a second behind it. So we're not all in by any means. We should be transitioning back at home. We are taking our gases. There's a world where maybe this is going to be something crazy like Proxy Marauder, but even then, I feel like we invest a little bit harder to this, so yeah, we'll see how Kelazhur brings this all together. As ShoWTimE is going for a Gate Cyber into the expansion. There it is, Reapers on the way, SCV's coming in, and we should be looking for that bunker. The SCV does get eyes on the Nexus, is going to back up. Does avoid that probe for at least a little bit longer. SCV comes in, but the probe is patrolling. Really good moves here out of ShoWTimE again. The goal here was the SCV was waiting for the probe to go back into the main, and then we would have seen a bunker in the mineral line. Bunker is now thrown down, but the boys are here. The probes are in position. It looks like the positioning, though, is just a little bit too good, and it's going to finish. It was delayed, though. Bear that in mind. It was delayed. Reaper does arrive, going straight for the main base. Straight for the mineral line. Oh. You have to be careful. One probe goes down. Shield battery is on the way. We get a second probe. The Stalker trying to zone away that Reaper. We're going for the bunker, and it looks like we do get in. Bunker does finish. Oh my god. The juggling. The control. Diego. Here we go. He is repairing that. We have the bunker versus the shield battery. Oh. SCV taking an extra hit. Nice moves there from ShoWTimE. Second Stalker has arrived, and now we can dive in a little bit harder. But the Marauder has arrived. We did go for a proxy tech lab. Concussive Shell is on the way. Marauder has arrived behind this. We have we have one base all in. It's a one base all in out of Kelazhur. No CC. We go factory into Starport. Oh my god. Very committed here from our Terran player. Ooh, the Marauders, they take down one of the Stalkers. Impressive. Stalker goes down. Second shield battery's on the way. Reaper going to try to soak some of those hits. It's going to rotate around. Cyclone has arrived. Second Cyclone in production. And with that medevac, do we go for the Liberator? May as well. Nah, medevac is on the way. Soon to be additional Marauder production. This natural base is going to go down. We do focus down the SCV, just barely. But we're pushing up into the main base. These Marauders, they look so tanky. Another Stalker goes down, and another. And it looks like Kelazhur, he has control of the main. The boys, they have to be pulled. We take control of the pylon. The Artosis pylon, no! The pylon! It does go down. Everything gets depowered. Not like this. A second pylon is on the way. GG gets called, and Kelazhur snowballs out of control. He ties up the series 1-1. GG. That escalated very quickly. Oh my god. Halfway through, basically after the Marauder showed up, it sunk in like, hold up. I looked at the production tab. We had the factory on the way. We had a starport on the way. No CC. One base all in from Kelazhur. And ShoWTimE just was not ready for it. Didn't know what was coming his way across the map. Really good execution. Really good control from Kelazhur. And yeah, with that, he does tie things up 1-1. But alas, this is still a best of 5. Still plenty of games are ahead of us. Just need to make sure that everyone gets in. And we are here to determine who takes the lead in this series. We have some other updates coming in, but still no one is qualified yet. Not yet. Everyone is still mid-series. And you can hear their beeps. Now we're going to be loading into game. Número 2. Sorry, 3. Number 3. And it's going to be on Golden Aura. Interesting. I'm really curious what the vetoes were, actually. Especially if Radis Station made it through. Very curious. But here we go, spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Golden Aura, we have the Brazilian Terran player, the blue Terran, representing himself, tying up the series 1-1. It is Kelazhur. And spawning in the top left hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the red Protoss, representing Berlin International Gaming. It is ShoWTimE. Go. ShoWTimE setting up for his gate expand. Kelazhur this time going for a Rax first into, I imagine, a single gas geyser, a more economic opener on the horizon for Kelazhur, which would be a good way to play out the series. No, never mind. There's the second gas. Second gas geyser on the way. Should be going for a faster factory, a delayed CC once again from Kelazhur. Now this doesn't have to mean a one base all in, but it could be a one base all in, as we saw in the last game. ShoWTimE dips into the main, and we'll get confirmation on the double gases as well as the delayed command center. So ShoWTimE getting all the information he needs. He's going to be locked into the main base by this wall, by this depot. There's no way out. So that means even though ShoWTimE is aware of the double gas, he will not know whether or not this is CC. Is going to be in the dark, as this Reaper will eventually shut this down. Factory is on the way, but really ShoWTimE wants to know what happens after the factory. As we tase away at that SCV, try to get damage done. Doing what we can, but the Reaper has arrived. That probe is going to be shut down. The Reaper can now move across the map. Back at home, do we have our tech of choice? We're going for the gate expand into the Cybercore. Standard opener here from ShoWTimE. Yet to determine whether we go for a Twilight Council or a Stargate. And there it is. We have our answer. Stargate opener from ShoWTimE. Meanwhile, Kelazhur is expanding, throwing down that CC on location. this time not a one-base all-in. Reaper dips in, Adept is in position, gonna rotate around, heading towards the natural. We can see that Kelazhur, he's trying to outposition this Adept, trying to find a way in. Oh. And it looks like we don't quite make it. We get eyes on the saturation. We do bypass the Adept for a moment. Oh, but we don't commit. We don't go into the main, and we still don't know what is coming up next, whether it's Blink or Phoenixes or even an Oracle. We still don't know. And there it is. Phoenix production has commenced for ShoWTimE. Very safe way to play. The Reaper still still looking for a way in. Cyclone has arrived. Behind this, a second Cyclone. We have the Starport on the way. This, I imagine, is going to be for a medevac for Cyclone Harass. Cyclone Harass has been very meta in recent weeks. Again, the new Cyclone has found its place here in TVP. It's very solid here in the early game. Shuts down Oracle, shuts down Phoenixes, can kill workers quite quickly. We are just banking up that Phoenix count. But here comes that second Cyclone and the medevac. So we should be looking for a drop into the main. Here we go. Marines are on the way. Actually, we're going to be reinforcing this Cyclone instead. Bold move. We have to be careful though. Here come those Phoenixes. Ooh, and before the Marines arrive, the Cyclones, they're gonna be shut down. Big overextension by Kelazhur. One Cyclone falls, so does the second. And Kelazhur, these Marines, what can they do? What can they do now? Aye, aye, aye. They're gonna try and push them forward. They do focus on one of those Stalkers. But again, the goal here was to meet up with those Cyclones to push forward. And there was a lot of potential there. So much potential. The Marines were designed to protect the Cyclones, and the Cyclones would have dealt so much damage to the army. But ShoWTimE shut it down very early on. And now he's in a damn good position. Third base gets thrown down immediately. Likewise, Kelazhur throws down his own third CC. It's crazy. Third base is on the way. Very greedy move here from Kelazhur. Very apt move from ShoWTimE. After shutting down that army, he knows he can get away with this. And Kelazhur, because he got shut down, he knows he needs to come back in some way. With a fast third, solid way to come back. Ooh. So, after the intense moment that we just had, things are going to be settling down. Things that will be settling. Stalker count building up. Phoenix is pushing out. We are staying on a low Phoenix count. Oh, no, never mind. 5. Okay. We just split them up. 5 Phoenixes in total. The Bay is on the way. ShoWTimE and getting ready for a Phoenix Colossus. What he does best in TVP. A very robust style. Very solid. Not too fancy. Very ShoWTimE. We're just going to be defending here on 3 bases. Building up that Colossus count. Meanwhile, Kelazhur playing similarly. Because of the fast third TC, he's going to be looking to get into his 3-base economy. Is moving out with a double drop, which is a bold move. We'll see what he can get done. Medevacs are pushing. Phoenixes, they are going to be protecting the dive into the main. Kelazhur has to be very careful where he commits, but the army's in position, and Kelazhur won't find any damage, not here. ShoWTimE gonna just chase him down. We do have a stim, but we can't really fight this, not head on. Kelazhur just stims back home. Observer gets eyes on the timing of the third. So ShoWTimE knows his opponent's being economic, which means he knows he's pretty safe at home. To tech up, Colossus production, Phoenixes, additional gateways on the way, +1. Colossus has arrived, and Kelazhur can't really threaten this. And not with this army. Going for a Doom Drop instead. Okay. As ShoWTimE is getting his 4th, we could deny the 4th, or maybe we could even go straight for the natural, but there's a cannon in position. Yeah, The base has been plotted. We do force a cancel on that Nexus. Not bad. Pretty good pickoff. Containing ShoWTimE. Behind this, Widowmine production is commencing. Vikings as well. There's that Ghost Academy for Ghosts. Kelazhur taking quite nicely. Server does spot the rotation, and yeah, ShoWTimE is in position. As a result, retaking his fourth. Kelazhur scans ahead of time. Phoenix is coming in from the right-hand side in case Kelazhur were to try to go for a drop. He's just posturing. Once again spotted by the Observer. He scans! Does spot the Observer in the end. Behind this, we have the Armory. Ghost production has commenced. Wouldn't be surprised if we see a 4th CC soon. But now Kelazhur focusing on his army. Oh, does run into the Colossus, and a big chunk of army goes down. Marauders and Marines. Oof. And Kelazhur, he has to back off. He has to retreat. He gives up map control. And now ShoWTimE, he can push. And what do we have to work with? We have 3 Colossi, an Immortal, plenty of Phoenixes, Extended Thermal Lance. And Kelazhur's in trouble. Good EMP! Good EMP on the Archons and the Phoenixes. Colossi trying to push forward. And we wedge ourselves in between the natural and the third. The boys, they have to be pulled. A lot of these Phoenixes are going to be going down, but the SCVs, they just get annihilated. The Colossi, they stand strong, mowing through the army. That's 22 dead workers. GG gets called, and ShoWTimE will take game number 3. Taking a 2-1 lead in this series. GG. Ooh. Again, Kelazhur did kind of have a bit of a rough start. Clearly, Kelazhur wanted to be aggressive. He wanted to be as assertive as possible, but he did lose a little momentum early on, and ShoWTimE was able to claim that. Again, snowballing out of control with Phoenix Colossus. Once he hit critical mass, 3 Colossi, and once he caught a bit of the army as well, he was able to push out, and Kelazhur could not stop him. And now we find ourselves on match point. ShoWTimE needs one more win here to qualify, to earn himself a plane ticket to IEM Katowice. Meanwhile, Kelazhur has to fight back here and now to force the ace match. Here we go. Meanwhile, it sounds like matches are getting underway. Oh. Here we go. I was a little bit afraid that we were going to miss the lobby. But it looks like we have a couple of other updates here. Players are starting to get eliminated. Lambo did 2-0 Scarlet. My condolences to Scarlet, as she does get knocked out here in the European Closed Qualifier. But if you're a fan of Scarlet, do not fret. If you're a fan of any of these players that are being eliminated, don't worry, because they will be having another chance in the Americas Server Qualifier. They got you. So yeah, the Americas Server Qualifier is gonna be tomorrow. So Scarlet has another chance. Likewise, so does Jeshi and Young Yakov as well, as all 3 of them have been eliminated. And players are starting to qualify. And we can get into detail after this series. Whether it's after this game or the next, we'll get there. Meanwhile, our next map is going to be Oceanborn. We are going under the sea. And spawning in the top left-hand corner of Oceanborn, we have the Brazilian Terran player representing himself. He's teamless. He's deserving to be on a team. Hopefully, someone can pick him up, especially if he does qualify and make it to Poland. It is Kelazhur. Looking to tie it up, looking to force that ace match. And spawning in the bottom right hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the German Protoss player, the red Protoss representing Berlin International Gaming. He needs one more, uno más, to qualify for IEM Katowice 2024. It is showtime. Here we go. I see some of the Brazilian fans in the chat. As interesting movement here, Kelazhur going the long way around. He's looking to go for an eBay block. Did go the long way around here, avoiding the main path of this probe. SV has arrived and the eBay is thrown down. ShoWTimE is quick to respond though, and we do pull some boys. ShoWTimE doesn't want to be forced to take the unnatural natural, and he will shut down this SCV. And the eBay will not finish. And ShoWTimE will eventually be able to take this expansion. So essentially, if ShoWTimE did not check his natural base when he did, this engineering bay would have not finished, but gotten enough progression to force another Nexus to be taken, and then Kelazhur would have gone for a faster factory, as we are seeing, second gas geyser into Hellions and Cyclones, and just pulled ShoWTimE apart, as ShoWTimE would have struggled to defend his unnatural natural at his main base. Kelazhur was hoping to pull that off, but alas, he is denied. And ShoWTimE is able to take his expansion. Now, Kelazhur is still, I think, going for the add-on swap. We do have the reactor on the racks, and I think we're going to be going for the add-on swap here for some Hellions. Again, still only a single gas geyser. And we'll see how Kelazhur does kind of ease his way into it. There we go, CC on the high ground. There's the add-on swap. The reactor on the factory. We do see ShoWTimE looking for proxies. Not unheard of to go for a proxy factory or proxy starport from that position. So ShoWTimE is just securing himself, making sure everything is as it should be. And I was curious if we were going to have enough gas for it. We do. We're not going to be reactoring at Hellions. It's going to be Cyclones. Let's go. Let us go, as ShoWTimE as well, going for his own opener here, is mixing it up and is going to be going for a Twilight Council. Okay. No Phoenixes, not this time. Twilight Council opener, most likely for Blink. Second gateway is thrown down. I'm thinking a 2-gate opener into a third, just because it's economic and that feels very ShoWTimE, but he could opt to double down and be aggressive instead with additional gateways. 3-gate Blink, 4-gate Blink, they are options, they are viable. As the Cyclones, they have arrived. Going to be threatening that natural. Stalkers are in position, but we do have a second shield battery on the way. And shield batteries are done in time. As long as ShoWTimE doesn't overextend, he should be able to hold on. Kelazhur back at home. Ooh, going into a very fast tank. Very aggressive opener here. Is expanding, don't get me wrong, but is very much so looking to be in the face of ShoWTimE. Meanwhile, that is a third gateway. Third gateway on the way for ShoWTimE. So it's going to be a 3-gate opener into a third base. With three gateways, it's a very safe way to open up. You do have an abundance of stalkers. You can vie for map control. You can even counterattack as well, but you're not too committed. And again, you're still looking to and hoping to take a third. There it is. Pylons are on the way. And the third base shouldn't be delayed for too much longer. Meanwhile, Kelazhur is just building up his tank count. This almost looks like a 2-base all-in from Kelazhur. Obviously, we're not pushing yet, but he's going to be building up his tank count, his marine count as well. We have our 3-1-1 setup. Just really early tank production, and with this eventual push, we could even try to pull the boys. We're already going, actually. Oh my god. I thought we were going to wait for like an extra wave of tanks, but no, we're already pushing. Tanks are sieging, hoping to catch some of these stalkers. Ooh, and they are revealed. Massive shot goes off. ShoWTimE doesn't lose anything, but he does have to retreat. Here we go. Kelazhur is pushing. ShoWTimE to sort him. Good for. Oh my god, the force field! Cutting the army in half, shutting down a cyclone. At the same time, though, probes are going down. Liberator putting in a lot of work. 5 worker kills for 1 lib. Very worthwhile. As Kelazhur is being quite ambitious with this army. Blink is done. We focus on one of the tanks. We're going to be able to get a second tank as well. And this is a big loss of army here for Kelazhur, losing 2 tanks. And he doesn't have much left at home to defend. That felt like a big mistake from Kelazhur. I don't think that was intentional. We even saw like a bit of a hold position move there from Kelazhur as well. There is 1 tank left. Would you force back the army? But here comes the Immortal. We could even try to be fancy and like throw down like a hallucination and tank the tank shots and try to break through. And 1 tank and a handful of units are left. ShoWTimE going for the army. Yeah, the boys, they have to be pulled. Kelazhur, he knows how vulnerable he is. The tank goes down. Across the map, SCVs are falling. Sorry, probes are falling. Oh, at the 3rd base, Liberator putting in a lot of work. But Kelazhur, he's fighting for his life right now. He's trying to hold on, trying to survive. Liberator gets shut down. 4th base is on the way. ShoWTimE is not all in. He doesn't have to push in, doesn't have to try to kill his opponent. But he may as well, as here come reinforcements. ShoWTimE just going to be saturating his 3rd. What do we have to defend with? We have no bunker, no tank, no factory production. We have a couple of Widow Mines on the way. With enough Stalkers, we could try to have our way with this army. Stim isn't done yet, but it finishes up just in time with this fight. 1 Marauder goes down, 2, 3 of them get picked off. The boys have to be pulled once again. The Immortal tanking some of those shots, but it will be focused down. Good target firing, good blinks here from ShoWTimE. And he's snowballing out of control. There's barely an army left. God, the blinks. Really good blink control. We're down to 1 Marauder. Good juggling. Barely keeping it alive. Oh my god. And if it wasn't for that Immortal, then we may have just died then and there. But it looks like we still have too much anyway. As Kelazhur, he's barely holding on by the skin of these Marauders. GG gets called. There's just too much. ShoWTimE snowballs out of control, and ShoWTimE will be qualifying for IEM Katowice 2024. GG. GG, well played. That was an unfortunate start for Kelazhur. For Kelazhur to lose those 2 tanks when he did, that was brutal. That was absolutely brutal. That was game then and there, and ShoWTimE knew it. That's why he was asserting himself. He wasn't even all in. Again, he was expanding behind it, was probing, was working on the rest of his upgrades, was teching up, and it was just too much to overcome. GG, well played. And ShoWTimE will qualify. Kelazhur gets knocked down to the lower brackets where he has his next opponent. Ready and waiting? I'm uncertain. I think he does. I do believe he has his next opponent, and we will be following him. And we have some updates as well.